Hello everyone, in this video we have 5 different questions arranged according to difficulty level. So without further ado, let's begin.
Level 1.
So with this level, what we have to do is to subtract 1 from each side of the equation. And if we do that, we see that this and this will go and we have x is equal to -1. And guess what? This is pretty much it.
Level 2.
Okay, so with this level, we have to make use of the quadratic formula. That is, x is equal to minus b, where b is the coefficient of x, which is 1, then plus or minus square root of b squared. So in this case, we're going to have 1 squared, which is 1, minus 4 times a, where a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, then times c, where c is the constant, which is also 1. So we're going to have minus 4, then all divided by 2 times a, where a is also 1. Now, if we simplify this further, we have x is equal to -1 plus or minus, now 1 minus 4, that is going to be minus 3, square root of minus 3, that is 3i, then all divided by 2. And guess what? This is pretty much it.
Level 3.
Right, so the problem is now getting interesting. We have x to the third power here. Should we use formula? No, let's use factoring method to solve. With this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group some terms. So we have x to the third power plus x to the second power. I'm going to have to group this one. Then plus x plus 1. I will also group this, and this is 0. We see that x squared is common in this parenthesis, so I'm going to have to take x squared out. Then we are left with x plus 1 here. Then this side we have 1. Then we are left with x plus 1. We just factored out 1. And this is 0. Now x plus 1 is common, so we have to take it out. Then the inside we are left with x squared plus 1. And this is equal to 0. At this point, we can say that x plus 1 is 0, or x squared plus 1 is 0. This is level 1 question. It's pretty much simple. X is equal to -1 as one of the solutions. Or from here, we have to move this positive 1 to the right. And if we do that, we're going to end up getting x squared is equal to -1. Taking square root on each side of the equation, we end up getting x is equal to plus or minus I. And guess what? This is the other solutions.
Level 4.
Yes, we have another interesting question here. What should we do? Should we use factoring method? No, I don't think it's gonna help. Okay, here's the deal. Let's go ahead and then divide everybody by x to the second power. And if we do that, we see that x to the fourth power divided by x squared, we're going to have x squared. Then this divided by x squared, we're going to have only x. Then plus x squared divided by x squared, that is basically 1. Then x divided by x squared, we're going to have 1 over x. Then plus, lastly, 1 divided by x squared, we're going to have 1 divided by x squared. And this is equal to 0. Now, I'm going to group like terms. Those with the squared, I'm going to group them. So we have 1 over x squared here. And we also have the x's. I'm going to have to group those without, or those with only power 1. Then plus the constant, we have only 1. And this is 0. Then from here, we have to pay attention to this first parenthesis. X squared plus, now this could be written as 1 over x all squared. Now we have sum of two squares, so we have to complete these squares by adding a middle term. And to do this, we're gonna have x squared plus 2 times x times 1 over x, then plus 1 over x all squared. Now let's pay attention to the middle term here. If you simplify this, you are going to get 2. It seems we have added 2 to it, so we have to also minus 2 here. And if we do that, we see here we can express this as x plus 1 over x all squared. Then we have our minus 2. So in place of this whole thing, we are going to replace it with this. Let me change the marker actually. We end up getting x plus 1 over x squared. Then we also have this one. So we're going to have plus x plus 1 over x. Then plus 1 over here. Don't forget this minus 2. It is very important. If we add this minus 2 to this one, we're going to have negative 1. So I'm going to bring the negative 1 here, and this is equal to 0. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and then let x plus 1 over x equal to m. And now we have a new equation that is m squared plus m minus 1 is equal to 0. We have already solved equation in this form already, and that one we use the quadratic formula. Now this time around we are going to complete the squares. So let's do that. We have m squared plus m. We're gonna move this one to the right so that we get positive 1 here. Then we will take the coefficient of m, which is 1. So let me bring that one here. We will take the 1 and then multiply it by 1/2. Then the result, we are going to square the result. And we see that we are getting 1 over 4. Then we're going to add 1 over 4 to each side of the equation. And now we're going to have m plus 1 over 2 all squared. I mean, the left hand side, this is what we're going to have. And the right, we're going to have 5 divided by 4. And this time, we're going to take square root on each side of the equation. Then we have plus or minus here. This and this will go, and we have m is equal to, let's transpose this 1/2 so that we get negative 1/2 plus or minus square root of, now I mean this could be simplified as square root of 5 divided by 2. So in all, we can split this. We have m is equal to minus 1 plus root 5 all divided by 2, and we're going to let this one equal to the reciprocal of the golden ratio. Then the other value for m, we're going to have m is equal to negative 1 minus root 5 all divided by 2, and this will be equal to the negative golden ratio. Then remember we let m equal to x plus 1 over x. So when m is equal to this, we're going to have 1 over the golden ratio. How do we solve this? The easiest way to solve this problem is to multiply each term by x. And if we do that, we're going to end up getting x squared, then minus 1 over the golden ratio x, then plus 1. I just simplified everything altogether. So from here, we just have to use the quadratic formula, which is x is equal to minus b, but this time b is negative already. So we're going to have positive 1 over the golden ratio, then plus or minus square root of negative 1 over the golden ratio squared minus 4 times a, where a is 1, times c, where c is also 1. So this is what we're going to have. Then all divided by 2 times a, where a is 1. So we have this. Now we're going to have x is equal to 1 divided by the golden ratio plus or minus square root of 1 over the golden ratio squared minus 4, then all divided by 2. And guess what? This is one of the solutions. I mean, there are two if we split them, right? Now let's pay attention to when m is equal to negative golden ratio. With this one, we're going to have x plus 1 over x is equal to negative golden ratio. Now with this one, the easiest way to solve, just like we did before, we're going to multiply through by x. And if we do that, we have x squared, then plus, I'm just going to bring this one here, the golden ratio x plus 1, and this is equal to 0. So using the quadratic formula, we have x is equal to minus b, where b is the golden ratio, then plus or minus square root of golden ratio squared minus 4 times a times c, where they are all 1 1, so we're going to have 4, then all divided by 2 times a, where a is 1. So this is the other solutions that we have.
Level 5.
I guess this is going to be the last level and it is very interesting. Should we factorize it? No. Here is the deal. I'm just going to group these terms and then group these terms. And if we do that, we see that x cubed is common. So we're going to have x cubed times, here we are left with x squared. Then this side we are left with plus x. Then this side we have plus 1. Then here we will just take positive 1 out. Then we are left with x squared plus x plus 1. And this is equal to 0. Actually, my 2 is disappearing, so let me write it well. Great. And now we can see that x squared plus x plus 1 is common, so we have to also take it out. We're going to have x squared plus x plus 1. Then the inside we are left with x cubed plus 1, and this is equal to 0. Are we done factoring this? No, because inside this parenthesis we can also factorize it. X cubed plus 1 is the same as x cubed plus 1 cubed. In algebraic identities, if you have anything of the form a cubed plus b cubed, we can factorize this as a plus b times a squared minus a times b plus b squared. So let's use this idea to factorize x cubed plus 1. And if we do that, we're going to have, I'm going to write this one first. We're going to have x squared plus x plus 1. Then this one, we're going to have x plus 1, then times x squared minus x plus 1, and this is equal to 0. And now we can have two separate equations. The first equation is going to be, I have to write the easiest one first, so we have x plus 1 is equal to 0 as the first equation. Then the second equation, we're going to have x squared plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then lastly, we have x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. With this one, it is very simple. X is equal to negative 1. Then with this equation, we're going to make use of the quadratic formula, which is equal to minus b. B is positive 1, so it will be negative 1. Then plus or minus square root of b squared, we're going to have positive 1. Then minus 4 times a times c, they are all 1, 1, so we're going to have minus 4 divided by 2 times 1. And if we simplify this further, we have x is equal to minus 1 plus or minus. Now the whole of this one is going to give us negative 3, square root of negative 3, that is 3i, all divided by 2. And these are the two solutions that we have gotten for this equation right here. Now lastly, we're going to have, I have to change the marker. We're going to have x is equal to minus b, but b is negative 1, so automatically it's going to be positive. Then plus or minus square root of b squared, so negative 1 squared, it is positive 1. Then minus 4 times a times c, they are all 1 1 right here. So we're going to have negative 4 divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. So we have x is equal to 1 plus or minus. This whole thing will give us negative 3 like previously. So we have 3i right here, all divided by 2. And guess what? We have 5 solutions in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much it. I hope you found this video useful. Please, if you did, let me know that by liking the video, subscribing, and also comment and share. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day and see you again on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.